Hmm. Good morning, Virgo. Your ears have been burning lately, haven't they? That strange sensation that someone somewhere has been talking about you, thinking about you, and not in passing deeply, intentionally. Okay. The energy I'm tapping into right now, it's buzzing with voices, conversations happening in rooms you're not in, words being spoken about you that you haven't heard yet. Let's see what this energy brings. There's a discussion that might have taken place recently, maybe between two people, maybe in a group, but your name came up and not just casually became the topic, the focus, and what was said. It could shift how certain people see you moving forward. Um, Hold on. Let's sit with this for a moment. I'm sensing surprise in this conversation, like someone shared something about you that others didn't know, something that made people pause, reconsider, look at you through a completely different lens. And here's the interesting part, this might not have been negative. In fact, I'm picking up on admiration, respect, maybe even a little envy, but the kind that comes from recognition of your strength. Someone defended you, or someone praised you when you weren't there to hear it. Think about it for a second. Who in your circle has been quieter than usual around you? Who's been observing more than participating? Sometimes the people watching in silence are the ones forming the strongest opinions, and those opinions, they might be coming to light in ways you don't expect. Here, I feel a slightly different energy. For some of you, this conversation involves someone from your professional world, a boss, a colleague, someone with influence over opportunities that could come your way. And what they said about you, your work ethic, your reliability, your potential, it might open doors. Not immediately, perhaps, but seeds were planted, impressions were made. Your reputation is building in spaces you can't see. I'm also picking up on curiosity. Like, people have questions about you, about your life, your choices, where you've been, where you're going, and they're asking around instead of asking you directly. Why? Maybe because you've become somewhat of an enigma, you've pulled back, shared less, protected your energy, and that mystery, it's making people wonder. What do you think people say about you when you're not around? Is it what you'd hope, or does the thought make you uncomfortable? Let's talk about jealousy for a second, because I'm sensing that for some of you, not all the words spoken were kind. There might be someone who's been downplaying your achievements, questioning your motives, trying to diminish your shine. But here's what I find fascinating. Their attempts might be backfiring because the people listening, they're not buying it. They're seeing through the jealousy and recognizing it for what it is. And in a strange way, that negativity might actually be highlighting your light. I'm also getting this sense of revelation, like something about your past came up, a story, an experience, something you went through that you don't talk about often. And when it was shared, whether by you in the past or by someone who knows, it changed the narrative people had about you. Suddenly, your strength makes sense. Your boundaries make sense. Your choices make sense. Context is powerful. And people might finally be getting the context they were missing. Let's see, what else is here? I'm picking up on romance for some of you. A conversation between friends where your name came up in relation to someone's feelings. Maybe someone confessed they're interested. Maybe someone asked about your relationship status. Maybe your name was brought into a discussion about who's attractive, who's intriguing, who's worth pursuing. And the person who spoke about you, they might have said more than they intended, revealed more than they meant to. Words have a way of escaping when emotions are involved. I also want to address something about control. You can't control what people say about you. You can't monitor every conversation. And honestly, trying to would drive you insane. But what you can control is how aligned you are with your truth. Because when you're solid in who you are, other people's words, positive or negative, don't shake you as much. Are you living in a way that makes you proud, regardless of who's watching or talking? Here I feel something about misunderstanding. Like there might be a narrative about you that's not entirely accurate, something people assume based on limited information. And that assumption has been circulating, shaping opinions, creating a version of you that doesn't quite match reality. And maybe you felt that. The way certain people treat you, the energy they bring, the judgment in their eyes for something they think they know but don't. The question is, do you owe them clarification? Or is their misunderstanding actually protecting your peace by keeping them at a distance? I I'm also sensing gossip, and I know that word has a negative connotation, but not all gossip is malicious. Sometimes it's just human curiosity, people processing their feelings about you out loud, trying to make sense of you. The key is discernment, knowing which conversations matter and which ones are just noise, which voices carry weight, and which ones are just filling silence. Let me ask you something else. Have you been feeling validated lately? Like something you did or said finally got the recognition it deserved? That might be connected to this. Someone might have publicly or privately acknowledged you in a way that's rippling outward. And that ripple, it's reaching people you didn't even know were paying attention. I'm picking up on surprise again, but from a different angle. Like you might soon discover who's been in your corner all along, who's been speaking well of you, who's been protecting your name when it came up in less than kind contexts. And that discovery could be moving because sometimes we don't realize who truly values us until we see the evidence. Who do you think has your back, even when you're not around? Here's something else I'm sensing some of you have been underestimated. People made assumptions about your capacity, your intelligence, your potential, and recently you might have done something that contradicted those assumptions, something that made people rethink their assessment. And the conversations that followed, they might have included phrases like, I didn't know they could, or I had no idea they were capable of. There's power in exceeding expectations, especially the low ones. I also want to touch on something vulnerable. For some of you, the conversation that happened might have involved concern, people who care about you discussing whether you're okay, whether you need support, whether you're going through something you're not sharing, and that concern, it comes from love. Even if it feels intrusive, even if you wish they'd just ask you directly instead of speculating. Maybe it's a sign that you don't have to carry everything alone, that people are willing to show up if you let them. Let's see what else needs to come through. I'm feeling this energy of legacy, like the way you've been moving lately, the standards you've been setting, the example you've been providing, it's being noticed and discussed. People are talking about your growth, your transformation, how different you seem from even a year ago. And those observations, they might inspire others or challenge them or both. Your evolution is never just about you. It impacts everyone around you, whether they acknowledge it or not. As I'm wrapping this reading, I want to leave you with a thought. Whatever was said about you in that private conversation, whether it was glowing or critical, accurate or distorted, it doesn't define you. It's just one perspective, one moment, one exchange of words. Your truth is bigger than any conversation. But if you're curious, if you want to know, pay attention. The energy of that conversation might reveal itself through changed behavior, through unexpected opportunities, through someone finally saying out loud what they've been saying in private. Or maybe you'll never know the specifics. And maybe that's okay too. Thank you for being here. If this resonated, share in the comments, do you feel like people talk about you more than you realize? And does it bother you, or do you not care? Keep being yourself. The real ones see you clearly,